Top 6 Most Rebellious Zodiac Signs, according to Astrology. Most teenagers rebel, break rules, are emotional, and whiten their teeth. However, there are some who are more disobedient than others, true rebels with no bounds. See who the 6 most rebellious zodiacs are according to Astrology. Blunt. Factious. Crazy and a bit wild. These rebellious zodiac signs can provide you with amazing experiences, but they can also land you in serious trouble. Personal rebellion can manifest itself in a variety of ways. Rebels are not only those who fight for no reason at all, but they can also be defined as a type of behavior displayed by people who want to stand up for themselves. It can take the form of subtlety that few people notice. Here are 6 most rebellious zodiac signs. 1. Aquarius, January 20th to February 18th. You're always in the mood to start a revolution. An Aquarius is, at heart, a rebel. They are, after all, ruled by Uranus, the planet of radical change and revolution, and they have no fear when it comes to tearing down the establishment. When confronted with a set of rules, an Aquarius is compelled to inquire. Who came up with these rules? Why did they create these regulations? Who gives them the authority to enforcing these rules? You'd better have answers for an Aquarius because they're on the verge of starting a revolution. If you have your heart set on doing it your way, it really doesn't matter if you're dealing with an Aquarius, they'll do it their way in spite of all your efforts. If you have your heart set on doing it your way, it really doesn't matter if you're dealing with an Aquarius, they'll do it their way in spite of all your efforts. You believe you're in command? You're not with Aquarius. Remember, the long game is all about making you feel confident that everything will work out in your favor until, bam, it doesn't. This insurgent succeeds once more. 2. Aries, March 21st to April 19th. You're always trying to push it to the limit. Is it any surprise that Aries, the aggressive and impulsive sign, is so rebellious? For crying out loud, they're ruled by Mars, the planet of combat and intensity. If you ever challenge an Aries, they will not be able to resist a fight. You've already tested their patience by telling them they're not allowed to do something. This zodiac sign is guided solely by their instincts. If you try to convince them otherwise, you'll find yourself in a sticky situation. Keep this in mind as a future tenet. Aries is unconcerned with your rules. Aries, like God, laughs at your plans. And why is that? Because the great red ram is such a rebel, no one knows what they're planning, all they know is that they're going to do it their way, by hook or by crook. The one thing you can count on is that they are predictable. Expect your Aries mate to contradict everything you say, and keep in mind that even if you agree with their plan, they will most likely rebel against it somewhere along the way. 3. Taurus, April 20th to May 20th. You are good at fights and arguments. Taurus appears reserved, stable, and serious. They are, however, very obstinate, and they insist on standing on their own. They understand how to defend their principles and beliefs in order to obtain what they desire. They don't give up and fight for themselves. Instead, they act like the greatest rebels, refusing to accept anything less than their desired outcome. They are good at fighting and arguing, and they are very good at proving their point. What appears to be an obvious aspect of Taurian nature manifests itself in a much subtler form of rebellion than you might expect. What's with the whole stubborn nature gimmick? It's genuine, but it's also the solid foundation of their personal rebellion. Just try to persuade someone born under the sign of the bull to do something they strongly oppose. A smaller structure would be easier to transport. When a Taurus rebels, they do not need to express their feelings verbally. They simply do not move, making them one of the most rebellious zodiac signs. 4. Gemini, May 21st to June 21st. You probably think the rules are a total joke. Rules? Gemini? I'm sure they weren't paying attention when you began explaining the rules to them. Geminis prefer to figure things out on their own rather than following rules. Why? Because it adds spice to the proceedings. Geminis are constantly on the verge of being bored out of their skulls, and following the rules is downright boring. This zodiac sign enjoys injecting a little mischief into their daily lives. It's just the way they are. Both of your personalities are at odds with one another. The rebel wants to pick a fight for everything, whereas the peacemaker is constantly trying to reason with the rebel internally. Most of the time, the rebel manages to kick down the peacemaker, putting an end to the internal conflict until the next time. 5. Libra, September 23rd to October 22nd. I did it my way. It could be the anthem of the Libra personality. They won't push or pull because they don't need your approval to pursue their bliss. They know what pleases them and pursue it without anyone's approval. What you might call rebellion is simply the Libran way. Unlike Taurus, they are simply true to themselves, And if they are unwilling to budge, the last thing you'll be able to make them do is budge. Libra is a surprisingly powerful sign. They are outlaws with their own agenda. In reality, Libra is the most reserved person in the room. They secretly keep a close eye on everything. They have keen eyesight and exceptional observation abilities. Libra cannot be shielded from what is going on around her. They keep track of their whereabouts. Until they detect dictatorship, these people remain silent and respectful. Furthermore, their exceptional communication skills enable them to stand out as a rebel who cannot be ignored. People in the room, in fact, are frequently fans of Librans. As a result, they make it simple for themselves to be noticed. You might not think this person could ever take a stand at first. Libras, on the other hand, are full of surprises. 6. Sagittarius, November 22nd to December 21st. Living in the fast lane is always your preference. Trying to keep a Sagittarius from breaking the rules is akin to trying to keep a dragon in a cafe. They'll just fly away after melting the iron bars with their fire. It's pointless to ask Sagittarius to follow the rules because Sagittarius doesn't believe in rules. Instead, they see a plethora of possibilities for how life can be, and these adrenaline junkies want to sample them all. This zodiac sign is an adventurer at heart, and when has adventure ever involved rules? With an arrow aimed at their target and a bow in hand, they are ready for rebellion any day of the week. The archer will always think before striking. Their intention is always well directed, as this is a key feature of the Sagittarian personality. Rebellion comes naturally to them, and they enjoy the role of rebellious leader, which may imply that they require assistance in their rebellious endeavors. Sag enjoys leading the army, so expect missives that are direct, to the point, and completely rebellious. These people relish insurrection. I'd even go so far as to say they enjoy it.